Your dog sees another dog. Their body suddenly stiffens. Then, without warning, they start barking, growling, lunging, and pulling so hard that you can barely hold the leash. People move away. Someone looks at your dog and says, "That dog is aggressive." But what if they're wrong? What if your dog isn't trying to start a fight at all? Because reactivity and aggression can look almost identical from the outside, but they are not always the same thing. And if you confuse one for the other, you could misunderstand what your dog is trying to communicate and use a training approach that doesn't address the real problem. So how can you tell the difference? There are three important things you need to observe: distance, recovery, and your dog's overall body language. And the last one is easy to miss, so keep watching because it could completely change the way you see your dog's behavior. Imagine you're taking a normal walk through your neighborhood. Everything is calm. Your dog is walking beside you, sniffing the ground and enjoying the walk. Then another dog appears across the street. Your dog suddenly stops. Their ears move forward, their mouth closes, their body becomes tense, and then, bark, bark, bark! Your dog jumps toward the other dog and pulls hard against the leash. Your heart starts racing. You tighten your grip and quickly apologize to everyone nearby. And one frightening question enters your mind. Is my dog aggressive? Many dog owners ask themselves this exact question, but barking, growling, lunging, or pulling does not automatically tell you what your dog intends to do. Those behaviors tell you that your dog is experiencing a strong emotional response, but they don't tell you which emotion is underneath that response. Your dog could be afraid, they could be frustrated, they could be anxious, they could be overwhelmed, or they could be so excited that they no longer know how to control themselves. In some situations, there may also be a genuine risk of aggressive behavior, but the behavior you see is only the surface. To understand what may actually be happening, you need to look at the entire pattern. And here's something that surprises many dog owners. The dog that barks the loudest is not always the dog most likely to bite, and the dog that stays completely silent is not automatically safe. Sometimes the quiet signals tell you much more than the noise. So instead of only asking, "Did my dog bark?" ask yourself, what happened before the reaction, what happened during it, and what happened after it. That brings us to the first part of the observation test, distance. Pay attention to what happens when the distance between your dog and the trigger changes. Imagine your dog notices another dog from about 30 meters, or roughly 100 feet away. Your dog looks at the other dog, but they can still respond when you call their name. They may still accept a treat. They may be able to look away and continue walking. Now imagine moving closer. At 20 meters, your dog begins staring. At 10 meters, their body becomes stiff, and at 5 meters, they start barking and lunging. That change is important. If increasing the distance helps your dog calm down, accept food, respond to you, or turn away from the trigger, then the behavior may be strongly connected to fear, anxiety, frustration, or over-arousal. Your dog may have crossed what many trainers call their threshold.
Below that threshold, your dog can notice the trigger and still think. They can hear you, they can respond to you, and they may still be able to learn. But once they cross that threshold, the emotional response can become so intense that listening becomes extremely difficult. At that moment, your dog may not be choosing to ignore you. Their brain may simply be too overwhelmed to process what you're asking. This is why repeatedly moving closer to make your dog get used to it can sometimes make the reaction worse. Instead, create enough distance for your dog to remain calm enough to think and learn. Distance is not failure. Distance is useful information. Now, once the trigger disappears, pay attention to what your dog does next. This is the second part of the observation test, recovery. Imagine the other dog turns a corner and disappears from view. What happens to your dog? Do they shake their body? Do they begin sniffing the ground? Do they look back at you? Can they accept a treat? Can they continue walking normally? Or do they remain stiff, alert, and focused on finding the other dog? Recovery time can give you important information about how intense the emotional experience was for your dog. Some reactive dogs create a huge display. They bark loudly, pull hard, and look completely out of control. But once the trigger disappears, they begin settling down. Other dogs remain highly aroused for several minutes or sometimes much longer. They may continue scanning the area, they may react more strongly to the next dog they see, and the rest of the walk may become much more difficult. But recovery time should never be used by itself. A dog that recovers quickly is not automatically safe, and a dog that takes longer to recover is not automatically aggressive. Recovery is only one clue. Now, think about your own dog. After your dog reacts, how long does it usually take them to settle? A few seconds? A few minutes? Or does one reaction affect the entire walk? Tell us in the comments. Your experience may help another dog owner realize they're dealing with something similar. Now we come to the third and possibly most important part of the observation test: your dog's body language. Don't focus only on the barking. Look at the entire dog. Ask yourself, is my dog trying to move closer? Are they trying to move away? Or do they appear trapped between wanting to approach and wanting to escape? A fearful dog may bark while leaning backwards. They may lower their body. They may tuck their tail. They may pull away from the trigger. They may hide behind their owner. Or they may repeatedly look for a way to escape. The barking may sound threatening, but the message behind it could be, "Please stay away from me. Please give me more space." A frustrated dog may behave differently. They may pull forward because they desperately want to reach another dog or person. They may whine, they may bounce, they may bark, and they may struggle against the leash. From a distance, this can look frightening, but the original motivation may be excitement or frustration rather than a desire to cause harm. However, that does not mean the behavior should be ignored. When frustration and arousal become intense, the situation can still become unsafe. Now, watch for patterns that may be more concerning. These can include intense fixation, repeated attempts to pursue the trigger, a very stiff body, difficulty disengaging even when more distance is available, or a history of causing injury. But no single body language signal can diagnose aggression. A wagging tail does not always mean a dog is friendly. Growling does not automatically mean a dog will bite. And a quiet dog is not automatically a safe dog. Context matters, history matters, and the complete pattern matters. So, is there one perfect test that can prove whether a dog is reactive or aggressive? No. There is no safe home test that can guarantee the answer after watching only one reaction. The useful test is careful observation. What triggers the behavior? How much distance does your dog need? Can your dog look away? Can your dog respond to you? How quickly do they recover? What is their entire body communicating? And what has happened during previous incidents? Reactivity describes an intense response to a particular trigger. Aggressive behavior may be used to threaten, create distance, defend something, or cause harm. But reactivity and aggression are not always completely separate. Sometimes they overlap. A reactive dog may bite when frightened, trapped, or overwhelmed. And a dog displaying aggressive behavior may also be reacting because of fear. That is why labels alone are often less useful than understanding the behavior, the emotion behind it, and the situation in which it happens. So, what should you do if your dog regularly reacts during walks? First, avoid punishing the warning signs. Yelling, harsh leash corrections, or forcing your dog closer to the trigger may increase stress and make the situation feel even more negative. Instead, begin with management. Create distance before your dog explodes. Cross the street when necessary. Use parked cars, fences, hedges, or other visual barriers. Choose quieter walking routes while you work on training, and reward your dog when they notice a trigger and calmly look back. Back at you. Keep training sessions short. And don't wait until your dog is already barking and lunging before trying to get their attention. Learning is much easier before the emotional response becomes overwhelming. You can also keep a simple trigger diary. Write down what your dog reacted to. How far away was the trigger? What happened immediately before the reaction? How intense was the response? And how long did it take your dog to recover? After a few weeks, you may begin noticing patterns that were difficult to see before. You may discover that your dog reacts more strongly in narrow spaces, or when another dog approaches directly, or when they are surprised, or after they have already experienced several stressful events during the same walk. If this video helped you understand your dog differently, subscribe for more practical dog behavior and training videos that explain not only what dogs do, but why they do it. And don't leave yet. Watch the next video on your screen where we explain why some dogs completely lose control at the front door and the training steps that can help them stay calmer. Because your dog's behavior is communication, and the better you understand what your dog is trying to say, the better you can help them.